This is Twit.
Twitter announced on Twitter Thursday evening that the company has filed an S-1 with the SEC for a planned IPO, initial public offering of stock. The filing is confidential under the new Jobs Act, which lets companies with less than $1 billion of revenue keep filing details secret for 21 days. This will allow Twitter to polish up their paperwork away from prying eyes. Analysts generally estimate Twitter is worth around $10 billion US.
Apple has officially opened up pre-orders for its iPhone 5C in the online store as of 12:01 a.m. Pacific time today. The phone starts at $99 with a 2-year contract for a 16-gigabyte model, $199 for a 2-year contract, 32-gigabyte model, or unlocked for $549 and $649 respectively. Customers in the U.S., Australia, Canada, China, France, Germany, Japan, Singapore, and the UK who order their phones now will start receiving them on September 20th. This same day, Apple is due to release the iPhone 5S.
Facebook is testing videos that autoplay without sound in the mobile version of users' news feeds. Videos from friends, celebrities, or musicians will expand and play audio when clicked. Facebook says internal tests showed the videos didn't significantly affect battery life or data consumption. While the test does not include any advertisements, recent reports indicate Facebook is planning 15-second autoplay video ads at a charge of $1 to $2.4 million per ad.
Outlook.com now supports IMAP email technology. Hooray! Microsoft official Steve Kafka wrote in a blog post, "We now have a richer email experience across devices and apps, including those not using EAS, such as Mac Mail and Thunderbird on a Mac." However, there are some initial complaints that messages deleted using IMAP-compliant client applications remain on Outlook.com, the web interface anyway, and that messages can't be downloaded from the server to their email clients.
CNET has a summary of some reporting over the week from Brazilian site Fantástico, TechDirt, and Mother Jones about the NSA conducting man-in-the-middle attacks impersonating Google to gather data on surveillance targets. Google told Mother Jones it had no evidence of the U.S. government circumventing Google security. However, Google was the target of just such an attack in 2011 when an attacker broke into the DigiNotar system and created 500 SSL certificates.
IPO wasn't enough. Twitter has introduced a couple new features. The first one is a feature for its verified users that lets them filter out mentions from anybody who isn't also verified, which is supposed to keep out, I don't know, the great unwashed of unverified users and spam bots. So if you're a verified user, you now have 3 options under the Connect tab. You have All, displays all interactions and mentions. You have Filtered, that weeds out anything that Twitter's algorithm thinks is spam. Then you have Verified, which limits the conversations to just you and other verified accounts. Twitter also launched its own app on Spotify, so you can enjoy a playlist built from your social stream inside Spotify's desktop app.
I'm going to enjoin the playlist legally. The Wall Street Journal reports Larry Page and Sergey Brin no longer can fuel up their private jets for cheap at Moffett Field in the Ames Research Center in Mountain View. NASA struck the agreement a few years ago with H211. That's an LLC that manages the Google founders' jets. The arrangement allowed the cheap fuel in exchange for the jets being used for scientific flights for government use. The deal expired August 31st, and NASA opted not to renew it amid an audit of the H211 usage, which may have broke the agreement by purchasing fuel for non-government flights. H211 will continue to hangar the jets at the field until 2014. It pays full retail, though, for the hangar fees.
Imagine that being the problem that you have on Friday.
Such a problem, I know.
You know, it's all relative.
I can identify.
Friday the 13th, indeed.
Microsoft wants to buy your iPad. That's right. The Surface Maker has launched a promotion at its retail stores in the U.S. that lets iPad 2, iPad 3, and iPad 4 owners trade in those iPads for a $200 gift card, or maybe even more, depending on the shape that your iPad's in. The devices have to be at least gently used, and the offer is only available in Microsoft stores in the U.S. and Canada, not online.
Well, maybe if Sergey and Larry sell their iPads, then they can afford the new fuel.
So.
If you've heard the scary stories of free USB charging points being infected with malware, it's time to use a condom. INT3.cc is selling a USB condom that fits on top of a USB plug and cuts off access to the pins that allow it to transmit and receive data. So only the pins that receive power are left open. That way a device can charge without any data, including any malware, being passed between the device and the power source.
I mean, I guess that's a good idea. Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe.
When it comes to specifically traditional consoles, ones that aren't handheld, the Xbox 360 is still top dog as the top-selling console for the month of August in the United States, which marks the 32nd consecutive month that it has led console sales. Congrats, 360. Microsoft, of course, is hoping to have another hit in the U.S. with the release of the Xbox One in November.